Alright, so before we get started talking about The Mandalorian, there is no possible way I could talk about this season of The Mandalorian without going into spoilers. So, this is going to contain spoilers for Season 2 of The Mandalorian and spoilers for this episode that aired today. Just so you know, just a spoiler disclaimer right there. Also, I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible because even with the heat on in my apartment, it's freaking cold. The Mandalorian Season 2 once again follows the adventures of the Mandalorian and the Child. Along the way, he helps out a lot of his friends, including Cara Dune, many others from the Star Wars universe, and comes into conflict with Moff Gideon. Season 2 of The Mandalorian I thought was a step up from Season 1 in terms of where the story heads, the action in the episodes, the production of the episodes. I mean, you had that one guy in jeans in the background that apparently got edited out of the season, but I had so much fun watching this season. There were some characters that I wish had just come back for the season, like Timothy Olyphant's character, which I'm not gonna lie, thought that was Pierce Brosnan when I first saw him. I was like, holy shit, Pierce Brosnan's in Star Wars. Oh wait, no, that's Timothy Olyphant. Really wish that he came back. I wish we got to see more of Carl Weathers as well. But you had a solid group of characters that helped Mando and Baby Yoda, or as we'll soon find out in this video, he has a name, on their journey. Gina Carano comes back as Cara Dune, and I like the character of Cara Dune. Gina Carano, now that she's saying all this bullshit on Twitter, no. That's cancel culture right there. Giancarlo Esposito plays Moff Gideon as if he's the hugest Star Wars fan, but it's like what happens if a fan walks onto a Star Wars set and is given a huge role in a show or a Star Wars movie, and he just runs with it and he nails it. It's like lightning in a bottle. That's how I feel Giancarlo Esposito is as Moff Gideon, and he is perfect as Moff Gideon. There's other characters that show up too. Bo-Katan, played by Katie Sackhoff. That was a really welcome sight. Boba Fett has survived the Sarlacc pit. We finally found out what happened to Boba Fett after all of these years. He survived the Sarlacc pit. He no longer died a dumb death in Return of the Jedi. He is now alive. It is now official. He is getting his own spin-off show called The Book of Boba Fett. Just wait, watch through the credits for the final episode of the season. You'll find out everything about Boba Fett is just awesome in this. And I'm glad that they brought Tamora Morrison back, who played Jango in the prequels, to play Boba Fett. I thought that was a really nice kind of through line or a connection there, and it made all the sense in the world, honestly. My favorite episode of the season by far was The Jedi, because that was the episode where Ahsoka Tano comes in. And as someone who just started Clone Wars, I'm at the end of Season 2. I'm not really getting into Clone Wars, honestly. I don't really find it that good so far. I'm not a huge fan of what I've seen so far of Ahsoka Tano in that show. So it was really interesting to see for me how Ahsoka Tano would translate to live action and whether or not they would actually do her character justice. Ahsoka Tano kicked ass. I'm now an Ahsoka Tano fan. I'm like, if this is where Clone Wars goes, and this is where Ahsoka Tano ends up, and she becomes this badass, like, sign me up. Like, Jesus Christ. That shit was awesome. That shit was rad. It was nice seeing Michael Biehn back on the screen. That was by far my favorite episode, because you actually found out a little bit more about Baby Yoda and where Mando had to go, and what he had to do in that episode to actually take on Moff Gideon. And Moff Gideon has that dark saber. You need this piece of equipment to actually fight Moff Gideon. I love the characters that came up. The overall story I really liked. I love that episode. The season finale was really good. The season premiere was really good. Even the filler episodes, because you have to have some filler. The second episode, I think, by far was the weakest one. Because when Mando's fighting the giant spiders, I wasn't thinking of Shelob from Lord of the Rings. I was just thinking of Aragog from Harry Potter, where he goes up against the spiders, and I was just expecting that giant spider to just say, "Goodbye, friends of Hagrid." That's by far my least favorite episode of the season, but I did not hate that episode. My problem with the season is, in a way, the same problem that I had with the first season. Just seems like we're planet hopping. The overall story for the season is good, but it's just how it's maneuvered throughout episode to episode because every episode, it just seems like Mando and the child, who is now known as Grogu, as we found out in that episode with Ahsoka Tano, and he escaped the Jedi Purge, so Anakin didn't kill him in the Jedi Temple when he killed the younglings, which that was kind of weird. I was like, okay, it's a little weird that we're just finding out that there was a baby Yoda there now, but, you know, Star Wars is weird. I mean, I get it. They're expanding the lore, so that's fine with me. I mean, after a while, I accepted it after a while. At first, I was just like, but now I'm just like, okay, yeah, I get it now. Like, he was there, they had to expand the lore. But anywho, back to what I was saying, I get Mando and Grogu. We're actually trying to find people that could train Grogu and, you know, take him in and, you know, find a Jedi. And Ahsoka Tano was that Jedi. But the way the story played out, not in terms of certain plot points, but just, I guess, how the narrative was structured. It was very similar to Season 1. Probably my biggest and only gripe with Season 2 is that it just seemed like they were planet hopping again, and not only were they planet hopping, it's when they got to those planets, it seemed like each episode, it was like, I have to find such and such. They find such and such, and they're like, and then that person's like, no, I can't help you, go find this person. Next episode, no, I can't help you, go find this person. Next episode, no, I can't help you, go find this person. Next episode, no, I can't help you, go find this person. Next episode, yeah, I'm a Jedi, but I can't help you, I'm sorry, take him to this temple place. I didn't like how that narrative was structured. The overall story I loved. Moff Gideon activating the Dark Troopers. That shit was awesome in the finale. Luke Skywalker showing up. Let's talk about Luke for a minute because this is worrying me. I don't hate Luke showing up. I think Luke showing up makes sense. We're just gonna open up the discourse again as if it has closed the book on that discourse already 3 years later about Luke's treatment in The Last Jedi. Because when you watch this finale and Luke shows up, everybody's gonna be like, that's the Luke Skywalker I want, not that Last Jedi bullshit, when The Last Jedi is probably the most misunderstood movie in the entire saga, and Luke Skywalker is totally in character in the entire movie. People just refuse to see that for some reason because they can't accept the fact that their hero is a human being who has flaws, and he's not a perfect hero. Even though this scene that he's in this, and Return of the Jedi are going to paint him as a perfect hero. He's not. That's kind of my problem with Luke Skywalker. I expected it, but now the discourse that is still running rampant 3 years after the release of The Last Jedi is just going to continue to run rampant even more. It's going to give the opposers of Luke's character arc in The Last Jedi another piece of evidence to argue against his character arc, when in fact Luke is still Luke in The Last Jedi. Everything about Luke is Luke. Everything you see with Luke in The Last Jedi is Luke. That's a whole nother video for another time. What I'm saying is The Last Jedi is just one of the most misunderstood, misanalyzed, misinterpreted Star Wars films. Go back and watch it and look at how Luke Skywalker is treated and you'll realize, hey, it actually is Luke Skywalker. When Luke popped up though, I was like, holy shit, because there were rumors that Sebastian Stan was actually going to be playing Luke Skywalker, and I was like, you know what, I can't really picture anybody else other than Mark Hamill playing Luke. But I was like, if they're going for a young Luke, then I'm okay with that. I mean, I think you could make Sebastian Stan look like Luke. And when he popped up and he pulled his hood down, I thought it was Sebastian Stan. It's like, holy shit, they really made Sebastian Stan look like Luke Skywalker. And then in the credits it says, and Mark Hamill. I was like, just completely stunned that it was Mark Hamill. Holy shit, man. If he was actually Mark Hamill, like how he looks now, and they just use the de-aging technology that they use on like everybody now, my god, Jesus, that look, it perfected it, I'll say that. Wow. I love when Luke comes in too, he just kicks some ass. Because there were 3 people I was thinking about when I saw that X-Wing enter the Star Destroyer hangar. I was like, okay, there's an X-Wing there. They're definitely hinting that it's Luke, but I was like, it's either Luke, Obi-Wan, or Ahsoka. And then you see, like, on a screen, like a black and white screen, that this person has a lightsaber and he's wrecking all the Dark Troopers, and I'm like, okay. And then when you actually see the sequence in real time, you see the green lightsaber, and immediately I knew it was Luke. I was like, oh yeah, it's Luke. Yeah, no problem with Luke showing up. Just now, though, that Grogu has left the Mandalorian, and now he's going with Luke Skywalker, I'm just curious as to where Season 3 is going to go. Because I feel like a lot of the show just hinges on that relationship between the Mandalorian and Grogu. And I gotta give it up for the episode before this one. the one that felt like a Mad Max episode, because Grogu was not in that episode. So it proved that you can still do The Mandalorian and you don't have to rely on Baby Yoda's cute moments or him being funny. You can take that out if you have to, as long as the story calls for it. So it's going to be really interesting to see where they go with season 3 of The Mandalorian, and I'm really interested now to see that Book of Boba Fett spin-off show. Season 2 of The Mandalorian was better than Season 1. It was action-packed right from the beginning. I feel like Season 1 took a couple episodes to get going. The story in Season 2 overall I felt was a lot better than Season 1's. You also have that one episode where you don't have to rely on Grogu. You have a lot of characters from Clone Wars and Rebels popping up, and legacy characters like Luke Skywalker. My issues just lie within that Luke Skywalker showing up. It's going to create further discourse that's been going on for 3 years now, and then the narrative structure was very similar to Season 1, but instead of just planet hopping, it seemed like we were just character hopping, and then there were just name drops too. Ahsoka name drops Grand Admiral Thrawn. I'm wondering if Ahsoka's spin-off show is going to focus on her trying to track down Grand Admiral Thrawn. Those are really my issues with Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I really enjoyed the season. Cannot wait for Season 3 next year. So what'd you guys think of Season 2 of The Mandalorian? Drop me some feedback in the comment section below. I'll leave my link to my website in the description below as well. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. My name is Alex Madden, and I'll see you at the movies somewhere.